Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here, and welcome back to a new video here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different stuff that's been going on in the past few days for basic, I guess, entertainment news and stuff like that, including some Ninjago stuff, so we're going to go ahead and talk about that really quick. But first things first, before we get started here, please watch the video all the way through and let me know in the comments what you think about this new format. I think this could be an excellent way to go ahead and capitalize on everything going on with YouTube's, I guess, new terms of service, while still maintaining the content that I've been doing for the past several years. So be sure to go ahead and check out the comment section if you have any thoughts or I guess any ways to improve this series. That would very much be appreciated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into our first story, which again features Ninjago content. So we did get another Ninjago short in the Prime Empire series of videos, and this short features the mechanic, who is a villain that we've been seeing for the past several seasons in Ninjago, and he's kind of back doing his own little thing, and he's actually working with Unagami, or he pronounces his name a different type of way in the short. Can't quite remember what it is right now, but I will go back and rewatch it just to go ahead and see what it is. But either way, he is working with the mechanic to go ahead and do something related to season 12. Not quite sure about that. We also did get word that the official season 12 title is now officially Prime Empire, so pretty much saw that coming. Makes a lot of sense to me personally, and I feel like that is an excellent title for the next season of Ninjago. But I think it's really cool how the mechanic is actually working with the newer villains as it kind of bridges the gap between older stuff and newer stuff, so I think that works out quite a bit. And we still have several of these Prime Empire shorts that have yet to actually air online in English, so I will wait to go ahead and talk about them until they actually appear in English, but I feel like they're going to be a great setup, at least for the stuff that's going to be going on within season 12. I feel like that's going to be an awesome way to go ahead and bridge that gap, and I can understand why the Ninjago series is going ahead and doing these shorts. Again, I do have to clarify though really quick, these shorts are not replacing season 12 episodes from what I can tell. They are simply just adding on to it. So we're still going to be getting an entire Prime Empire season. I've seen a few people freak out about that, saying that the actual season isn't going to be coming and the only thing that we're getting are these shorts. I feel like we will be getting an entire season dedicated to Prime Empire stuff. I just feel like right now, you know, it's just they're trying to put out some shorts to go ahead to, again, bridge that gap in between seasons 11 and 12. Moving on from Ninjago content, we have some MCU related stuff. In case you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I loved Avengers, all that kind of stuff. I own all the movies on Blu-ray, and we did get a little bit of news today in the form of Jared Leto's Morbius movie, which, in case you have not seen the trailer for that, I mean, I'm sure you can find it pretty easily on YouTube. Whole bunch of stuff going on today about that movie, specifically how it supposedly ties into the MCU, which, let me just get this out of the way, Morbius is not an MCU related movie from what I can tell. However, there are several clues that go ahead and actually lend itself to be an MCU extension of some sort, which again just makes the whole thing very confusing. This movie is not made by Marvel Studios, it's made purely by Sony. It's supposed to tie into their Venom universe from what I can tell, but I don't know about this one. I think the trailer itself is really cool and I like the vibes that it gives off. I just don't care for all of the MCU references in this trailer because it just makes everything super confusing. If Morbius could be a part of the MCU, that'd be fine. I wouldn't have a problem with that. However, this is supposed to tie in with Venom, and Venom was previously reported to not be in the MCU, so you can kind of see what's been going on here. Just a lot of confusion, and Morbius does include some very obvious hints towards MCU related stuff, specifically having a poster of Spider-Man in the background, which is of course a reference to Far From Home, especially with the whole vandalized murderer graffiti on Spider-Man's poster. It definitely goes ahead and suggests that this film takes place in a world after Far From Home. And not only that, we actually have Michael Keaton's Vulture, at least I think that's who that's supposed to be, showing up at the end of the trailer, supposedly setting up the Sinister Six in the MCU with Morbius and Venom, who's not supposed to be in the MCU, but you know, it's all just so confusing, the actual rights and who owns what and what can tie into what without confusing people. I mean, this Morbius trailer has been confusing quite a few people, not only because, you know, the whole Michael Keaton at the end thing could be Vulture, could be not, but it probably is Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming, which means that this is tied directly into those Spider-Man movies, and those Spider-Man movies are tied in with the Avengers, meaning that Morbius and Venom now exist within the Avengers universe. So again, not quite sure how to feel about that. Also, a little bit of confusion here. The actual poster of Spider-Man is a direct screenshot from the PS4 game, the Spider-Man PS4 game that came out last year, and it actually is the Tobey Maguire suit. So again, I think that was just a mistake on Sony's part, but it really doesn't go ahead and help out with all the confusion that we're already facing regarding everything going on in this trailer. Other news going on within the world of movies and cinema, we actually got a full list of the Oscar nominations coming out for this next season, and we got a whole bunch of stuff. Joker leading the charge with several Oscar nominations, including Best Actor for Joaquin Phoenix, which I could not agree with more. I feel like Joker was a very successful comic book movie overall. It's one of the highest grossing R-rated movies of all time, leading in at $1 billion worldwide. It's really awesome to see a movie like this sort of shine, especially a movie that has had a lot of controversy throughout its run. It's cool to see it actually get some recognition from the Academy, and the Joker nominations I could not agree with more. Also, something that I thought was really cool, nominated for Best Picture, was Marriage Story, which is a film on Netflix that I highly recommend you watch. It's a really cool tale about a couple going through a divorce, and it stars Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. Also, speaking of Marriage Story, Adam Driver also got nominated for Best Actor in a leading role for that very same film, so that's awesome. He was amazing in that movie, and I couldn't agree with that one more as well. Other Oscar nominations that I'm really happy made it in there were Ford vs. Ferrari for Best Picture, which is a really underrated movie from what I can tell. A lot of folks really didn't care enough to see it, but I thought it was really well done, and I definitely agree wholeheartedly with its actual nomination for Best Picture. And overall, the Oscar nominations this year, while the majority of them are for Joker, I have a feeling that there's a large amount of variety going on this season, so I'm excited to go ahead and actually watch the results when they come out. The only complaint that I can go ahead and give about this is that various anime films did not get nominated for the animation category, which again, I'm not really surprised, as that hardly happens with the Oscars any year. I feel like the genre definitely deserves some type of Oscar nomination in the future seasons, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see what goes on with that. Talking about Pokemon a little bit, I am a big Pokemon fan, as I'm sure you guys know. I've been a fan of Pokemon for several years. I used to have a Pokemon dedicated channel, and I haven't really got the chance to talk about the new DLCs coming out for Sword and Shield, one of which coming out in June, I believe, and the other one coming out in the fall of 2020. So, of course, a lot of cool stuff happening there, but a lot of people, again, are not too thrilled with these DLCs being paid. Of course, you have to pay $15 for each DLC, overall just $30 for both. I already pre-ordered them, I already made that purchase, so I'm completely set with that whenever they do drop later on in this year. But a lot of people are not happy because they are adding 200 Pokemon that were previously not obtainable in Sword and Shield into these new DLCs. Now, the actual areas that you can go ahead and find these Pokemon in are behind a paywall. If you pay for the DLC, you can go ahead and access the areas with all of the new Pokemon that I guess brought in from older games. However, that's not the only way that you can get these Pokemon, which I feel like a lot of people are confused as to this aspect of this new DLC. So yes, you can find the Pokemon behind a paywall, however, that does not mean that you have to pay to get those Pokemon in the game. Pokemon Home is coming out soon, which is of course the new transferable way you can go ahead and send Pokemon from previous games into Sword and Shield, and all of these new Pokemon will be compatible with that, meaning you can transfer things like Talonflame and Garchomp through your older games and not have to pay for the DLC. A lot of people are confused about that, but in reality, there's really nothing that you can go ahead and, complain about really, unless you don't want to pay for the DLC, in which case you won't be missing out on all the new Pokemon, but you will be missing out on all of the new story aspects, which will be introduced within those two DLCs. I personally feel like this is a very fair way to go ahead and introduce new content into Sword and Shield, but a lot of people, of course, aren't happy, as Sword and Shield have already pretty much strung up a whole lot of controversy as it is for several reasons, including not including every Pokemon in the game, which, it had to happen eventually, right? I mean, there's really nothing we can do about that, but a lot of people just don't really care about that at this point, and a lot of people, including myself, really enjoyed Sword and Shield, so I'm personally excited for these new DLCs, and I hope you guys are as well. In the world of anime, of course, we do have to cover that on this channel. A lot of new stuff has been going on recently in relation to various things, including My Hero Academia, which actually had a good episode this go around. Now, I am a My Hero Academia fan. I have been following the series for a while now, but this new season has kind of been underwhelming to me personally, simply due to the fact that it seems like it has a much lower budget than previous seasons, and that is no doubt because of the upcoming movie. I believe it's called Heroes Rising, which is the upcoming My Hero Academia movie, of course, coming in theaters later this February for everybody in the United States. But a lot of people, including myself, couldn't help but notice how this new season of My Hero, which is of course season 4, kind of appears to be a little lackluster compared to the previous seasons, and again, that's just because half the staff is working on the movie instead of working on the actual show. However, the most recent episode, in which Deku faces off against Overhaul, was actually really well animated, and I really enjoyed that fight scene quite a bit. I don't think it's the pinnacle of modern anime like several other people on Twitter are trying to make it seem, but it was a nice nice breath of fresh air, especially after several episodes of borderline, I guess, average animation for My Hero. I've seen My Hero Academia have some excellent animation within its time, especially during season 2, but now ever since movies have been coming out for the actual franchise, it just seems like a lot of those animation budgets are being pushed towards the movies instead of being used for the actual show itself, which we always have the manga, so that's always good here. But yeah, I couldn't help but notice that. But it's nice to go ahead and see My Hero actually get a solid episode for once. It was really well done. Deku 100% is amazing, and I love that so much. I love how that looks, especially when compared to the manga. I think that's an excellent adaptation. But overall, a lot of people are still looking forward to what My Hero has to offer, but a few fans on Twitter tend to go a little too crazy regarding My Hero, so it's kind of garnered a reputation amongst the anime fan base for not being as good as everybody says it is, which I do agree, but this new episode that they just came out with earlier definitely supports what My Hero should be this entire time. And with that being said, I believe that'll wrap it up for today's news. I hope this was interesting, and let me know down below in the comments what you think about this new format. Those who have been here for a long time, please let me know if you like this new format or not. I tried to go ahead and push Ninjago stuff towards the beginning of the video, that way if you didn't want to go ahead and check out the rest of the video, you weren't really obligated to do that, and that's probably what I will be doing for all of these videos coming out. This is just a nice little way to go ahead and combat COPA while also still maintaining the actual content that I've been working on this entire time. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below talking about what you think about this new format, and did you find any of these other stories interesting? Leave all your thoughts down below, and I look forward to reading what you guys come up with. With all that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including the Marvelous Jan. Thank you so much for pledging to the $10 tier. As such, you'll receive a spoken shout out and a written shout out at the end of every video. Plus, I will try to go ahead and upload additional content from time to time on the Patreon page. Might still be a little slow there, so sorry about that, but it's just the way that things are right now. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.